Hey guys, this is ChickenBonus and this is the second part of the playthrough. Here's where I started, and this is the shipwreck, and now I'm heading to the altar or the ritual stone, whatever. And here's the bird that scared the shit out of me. I'd better walk in the water.
I dreamt I stood in the center of the sun, and the solar radiation cooked my heart from the inside. My teeth will curl, and my fingernails fall off into my pockets like loose change. If I could stomach, I'd eat, but all I seem capable of is salt water. Were the livestock still here, I could turn feral and gorge. I'm as emaciated as a body on a slab, opened up for a premature source of death. I've rowed to this island in a heart without a bottom, all the bacteria of my gut rising up to sing to me.
And chemistry again. A Bible. I don't think I'm supposed to go to there. Or maybe I do. No, probably not. I'll just follow the road. And I guess that's it for the first part. Now we're in the second chapter of the game.
Dear Esther, I have now driven the stretch of the M5 between Exeter and Bristol over 21 times. But although I have all the reports and all the witnesses, and have cross-referenced them within a millimetre using my Ordnance Survey maps, I simply cannot find the location. You'd think there would be marks to serve as some evidence. It's somewhere between the turn-off for Sanford and the welcome brake services, but although I can always see it in my rear-view mirror, I have as yet been unable to pull ashore.
Where should I go? Right or left? Or in the middle? I'll go left. Bet you can't run in this game. Or can you? Or is it just me? I don't know. I checked the keys a couple of times. Never seen how to run. Who built all this? It's really interesting. All these houses, the wires, the shipwreck, another over there. think I'm going to the wrong side. See?
An imagined answer phone message. The tires are flat, the wheel spins loosely, and the brake fluid has run like ink over this map, staining the landmarks and rendering the coastline mute, compromised. Where you saw galaxies, I saw only bruises cut into the cliff by my lack of sobriety.
If this was in real life, that would be like really creepy. Like you go on this island, a giant island, and you're all alone, and there are birds attacking you, and you walk, you see abandoned ships, and you can't jump, and you can't run. Okay, but seriously, this is really freaky. And again a crossroad. Which way should I go? What is this? Just a barrel or a chair. Right or left? I'll go right. Last time
I had
left.
kidney stones and you visited me in the hospital. After the operation, when I was still half submerged in anesthetic, your outline and your speech both blurred. Now my stones have grown into an island and made their escape, and you have been rendered opaque by the car of a drunk.
Is there something in there?
Is this what Paul saw through his windscreen?
Whoa.
Not Lot's wife looking over his shoulder, but a scar in the hillside, falling away to black forever.
I wonder what will happen if I go too far.
Come back.
Okay. I shouldn't have done that. But it helped me. Now I see another house. And I have another mark. I need to go over that house to investigate it.
I've begun my ascent on the green slope of the western side. I've looked deep into the mountain from the shaft and understood that I must go up and then find the way under. I will stash the last vestiges of my civilization in the stone walls and work deeper from there. I'm drawn by the aerial and the cliff edge. There is some form of rebirth waiting for me there.
Really a beautiful place. Just beautiful. Nothing more to say.
The bothy was constructed originally in the early 1700s. By then, shepherding had formalized into a career. The first habitual shepherd was a man called Jakobsen, from a lineage of migratory Scandinavians. He was not considered a man of breeding by the mainlanders. He came here every summer whilst building the bothy, hoping eventually that becoming a man of property would secure him a wife and a lineage. Donnelly records that it did not work. He caught some disease from his malcontented goats and died 2 years after completing it. There was no one to carve white lines into the cliff for him either.
That's sad.
My heart is landfill. These false dawns waking into the still never light. I sweat for you in the small hours and wrap my blankets into a mass. I have always heard the waves break on these lost shores, always the gulls forgotten. I can lift this bottle to my ear, and all there ever is for me is this Hebridean music.
Someone's been living here. I think it was not a lot of time ago, because you see there are like eggshells or eaten potatoes. You again. I will kill you someday. And this again.
He left his body to the medical school and was duly opened out for a crowd of students 21 days after his passing. The report is included in my edition of his book. The syphilis had torn through his guts like a drunk driver, scrambling his organs like eggs on a plate. But enough definition remained for a cursory examination, and, as I suspected, they found clear evidence of kidney stones. He's likely to have spent the last years of his life in considerable pain. Perhaps this is the root of his laudanum habit. Although its use makes him an unreliable witness, I find myself increasingly drawn into his orbit. They found Jakobsen in early spring. The thaw had only just come. Even though he'd been dead nearly 7 months, his body had been frozen right down to the nerves and had not even begun to decompose. All around him small flowers were reaching for the weak sun. The goats had adjusted happily to life without a shepherd and were grazing freely about the valley. Donnelly reports they hurled the body in fear and disgust down the shaft, but I cannot corroborate this story.
And that's it. I'm running out of time, so I will stop now and I'll be back in part 3. This was ChickenBonus. Goodbye.